We've had our MG4 for 1 month now, and I'm going to tell you 5 things that I do like, 5 things that I don't like about this car. Number 1, probably the best thing I like about this car is actually the design. It's really sharp, modern, clean, futuristic. It's a little bit aggressive for what is meant to be a pretty cheap city car. It actually looks amazing, I think. Great design, really doesn't cost you much, providing that, you know, it can carry it off. As we go around the side here, I like the black contrasting mirrors and the bottom edges of the doors. Yeah, the black plastics on the side, well, you've probably heard me complain about that before because the car was delivered with a lot of scratches. You can see some on the black wing here. When we come around to the side here, you can really see it on this panel here. Yeah, good job in so-called detailing. Yeah, I wouldn't get any pre-delivery detailing done by the dealer. Forget their ceramic coating, so-called paint protection. It's not really done well. That said, again, the design, really love it. Sharp, modern headlights at the back here. This car doesn't have the extended wing that the Essence model does, and it's a bit of a shame because the wing does look really good. I probably will add that later on. But the other thing that we don't get in this model, which is the base model 51 Excite, is that we don't get the full-length LED light bar. You can see it sort of stops here, then it's all blank and black across the back here until you get to the other light here at the back. We've got a kind of a diffuser at the bottom here, which is really nice as well. And the look of the car, yeah, really, really great. Number 2 on the things which I do love about this particular car, the MG4, is the interior. The seats in the base model here are plain fabric with some blue stitching. They look quite nice. And the dashboard design is actually quite reminiscent of a recent model Audi, like the B9 model A4, with the continuous strip across the dash. We've got integrated vents down here with actual physical controls which you can move, which is actually a lot more convenient than the touchscreen air controls in my Tesla. You've got a very clear, wide, bright 10.25 inch main screen with a 7-inch driver's display there too, which is quite useful. And everything just feels actually really nice and high quality. Again, these indicator stalks feel good, maybe slightly cheap, that little plastic toggle switch there. The steering wheel, yeah, really cool, flat on top, flat on the bottom. Center indicator, well, that's normally up the top, but hey, electric car, right? Let's do things a bit differently. The button's actually quite useful. You can control the aircon by pushing that and then adjusting with a toggle switch there. So yeah, physical controls, really nice to have. The base model does not have a wireless charger, and that's why we've got a lightning cable sticking out here, but I'm probably going to get one of those wireless CarPlay adapters pretty soon anyway. The seats are actually really comfortable too. They look plain, but they're quite well bolstered and really good for some decent driving. Probably a little bit more comfortable than the seats in my Tesla as well. So yeah, point number 2, which is really great, interior design. Number 3 about the MG4, price. Actually quite competitive for an electric car. I don't really understand people who say, oh, your $50,000 electric car is no good because I can buy a $3,000 second-hand 20-year-old Ford Falcon to replace it. Not really a fair comparison and a bit of a dumb thing to say, but for its price bracket, 40k in Victoria, roughly, give or take, you're not really going to get much else which is comparable. You've got the BYD Dolphin, which is woefully underpowered and frankly a kind of bizarre interior design for the same price in the base model anyway. So for 40k, if you're looking at an electric car, really I don't know why you wouldn't at least test drive this car. It really does stack up in terms of value for what you get. Rear wheel drive, don't forget. I think it's the only electric car in that price category which is rear wheel drive. Tell me if I'm wrong. I haven't done my research there. And on the topic of price, a lot of people ask me, Tim, you've already got a Model 3, why did you get an MG4? Why didn't you just get the Model Y? Well, part of the thing is my wife didn't want a Model Y. It's quite a bit bigger than the MG4, and we've already got a Tesla. The MG4, that's about $20,000 cheaper than the Model 3 that I have now, but in no way is it $20,000 worse than a Tesla Model 3. I think it's an amazing car for the money. And I actually do like taking it out sometimes more than I like taking that one out. The Model 3 is a little bit quicker than the MG4, but it's not all great. The turning circle on the Model 3 is atrocious. There's no other way to put it. The Model 4, the MG4, really good turning circle by comparison. So if you're a driver, and this brings me on to part number 4 about the good things that I like about the MG4, is the driving experience. The MG4 is rear-wheel drive. It has a low center of gravity, like all EVs do, or they should, because of the batteries being laid down underneath the seats. It has good handling, again, being rear-wheel drive, you're not trying to force power and turning through the front wheels alone. If you have any sort of experience in driving, or if you like driving cars for fun, some people are weird like me, we like that, take the MG4 for a drive. Great little thing, good handling over the bumps too, not too floaty, well-designed suspension layout, and yeah, just really, really good. And finally, the fifth thing that I like about the MG4, well, guess what? It's right here on the back window. 7-year unlimited kilometre warranty. Now, this is not a car that we do a lot of Ks in. This car would be lucky to do 6, maybe 7,000 Ks in a year. But knowing that there is an unlimited kilometre warranty for 7 years is actually quite a good thing. If you look at one of the other major competitors to MG in the more affordable EV market, it would be BYD. Everyone knows about BYD, of course, but they have put quite a few people offside with their slightly, what's the word for it? Unusual, nitpicking is another word you could use. The way they sort of divvy up the car in terms of their warranty coverage. Oh, you're covered for 8 years here and only 3 years here and 2 years there on every other month. I don't know, it gets a little bit confusing. Model 3, that comes with a 4-year warranty. I'm pretty much a year into that, and I've only driven this car 5 or 6,000 Ks as well. So again, not really any problems with the Tesla at all so far. So, 5 things that we don't like about the MG4. Well, one of them is actually there's no frunk, no front trunk, front boot, whatever you want to call it. Is there room for one? Well, I don't know, there's a big bit of plastic here, so no. But if you look underneath, let's see if the camera goes underneath, there is an absolute heap of room under that plastic tray there. Oh yeah, we got some air conditioning pipes, those silver ones down the bottom, we've got some coolant pipes, we've got random little wires here. Nothing that little bit of forethought couldn't have tucked them out of the way, and you could have had a lot of very useful extra storage here. Some people say, what are you going to put in the front? Well, in the Tesla, I actually put a lot of food in there, particularly smelly stuff or wet stuff that might spill a little bit, and it would have been useful if we could have done the same here in the MG4. Part 2 about things which I'm not so keen on the MG4 is the back seat. It's what I call the cave. It's normally really dark and average place to be. You can't tell today because it's really bright outside and hot, but can you see that? Yeah, you can't because there's no light in the middle of the roof there. There's no light in the rear pillars. There's no vent there. Oh, you've got a charger, which is good. There's no pockets in the back, at least in the base model, which this one is here. There is also no cup holder. You could maybe fit a little juice box in there. There is no fold down armrest in the middle. Oh, and the other thing, in this model, we've taken all the headrests out because with the headrest in place, you cannot see out the back at all. Like the headrest is bigger than that, and there's 3 of them, and they just take up all that tiny rear vision in the back. So not a problem for us because we never carry anyone in the back, but if you frequently carry passengers in the back seat, well, yeah, I mean, go and check it out for yourself. It's fine for short distances and whatever, but for long journeys, maybe not so much. Things which could be better in the MG4. Let's move things around. Now, this is a big one here. Things like one-pedal driving are not saved by default. Let's touch that button there. 1, 2, 3. So it's taken us 3 presses of the button, and we have to do that every single time if we want to have one-pedal driving enabled in this car. This, again, I hate to compare to the Tesla in every video. The Tesla has it on pretty much default all the time, and the Tesla manages to remember a simple setting like that. So if Tesla can do it, MG can do it. Software thing, really simple, really easy to do, and would really improve the quality of the product. The other thing too, if you've had a look at my other video about phantom braking in the MG4, which I uploaded the other day, a link to it, I'll put it somewhere here. If I was to adjust something like front collision assist from moderate down to low, well, by the time I get out of the car, lock the car, walk away, come back, unlock, well, guess what? It's gone back to moderate again. And after the scare it gave my wife, I'm not actually that keen to have the front collision assist and emergency braking on moderate, but it won't save it. So there are 2 things that MG need to do here, and I'm sure it'll happen hopefully in my lifetime, is to enable number 1, over-the-air updates, and number 2, saving of various settings, not just front collision assist, whether you want on low, moderate or high, but other things such as lane keep assist. You know, some people are quite happy to have it on high and to have the lane departure assistance, or just alert and low, confirm. But if I did that, again, when I turn the car on again the next time, it is not saved. One pedal driving, enable it saved, and over-the-air updates, big one. Thank you, MG, when you do it. It will be a game changer and it will make a lot of owners very, very happy. Fourth thing that's not great about the MG4, well, at least speaking about the base model, is that the base model does miss out on a couple of safety features which really wouldn't have cost, honestly, I think that much to include. There's no 360-degree camera. There is a rear camera, of course, but no 360 camera. Oh, look, I've never had a car with one, so I don't know what I'm missing out on, but still it would have been nice to have. It doesn't have rear cross-traffic alert, so if you're backing out of a car park, it will not tell you if there's a car about to swing past you. That, I think, would be useful. And there's no blind spot monitor, which, again, is pretty common on most cars, even on the cheaper end of the scale, which this car does fall into. Of course, you can get it, all these features and maybe a few other things which I've forgotten on the Essence model, not the Excite model, but they cannot really be retrofitted as far as I know. Like I said earlier, I don't have the wing on this one, which I do actually quite like, so I might sneak that on one day when Tina's not watching. Part number 5 about things which aren't that great about the MG4, and this applies to all model MG4s. Well, it's actually rated to the 5th good thing I like about the MG4, which is the 7-year unlimited kilometre warranty. What I don't like, and what a lot of people are really a bit confused of and a bit cynical about, are the servicing costs for an MG4. It is about $296 after 2 years or 40,000 kilometres, and then at the 4-year mark, or 80,000 kilometres, it's $907. And if you look at the list of things which they're doing, really, it's not much. Yeah, they're going to check the tyre pressures. Yeah, they're going to have a look at door latches and things like that. All right, they might change the battery coolant and the brake pads and the brake fluid and things, but it is not $900 worth of work. Now, if we were being cynical, we would say that the MG4 is priced so low that the dealership network is going to try and recover some profit margin by jacking up service costs for an electric car, which doesn't really need a great deal of servicing. And if it doesn't need it at that labour rate or for however many hours that they're quoting for. Now, by comparison, the Tesla, after 2 years or 40,000 kilometres, the servicing cost is estimated to be $0, not $296. And at 4 years, the Tesla Model 3, at 4 years or 80,000 kilometres, it's not $907 to service, it should be $0. Now, the Tesla has no scheduled maintenance. It will tell you if something is wrong. And the thing about the Tesla, it has over-the-air updates. That's my 1 month review of ownership of the MG4 Excite 51. 5 good things and 5 bad things. Which one wins? Well, the good things are really good. Things like the design, the interior quality and design as well. The fact it's rear-wheel drive and drives amazingly well, that's what's really important to me. And you can't really change that. You can't retrofit a front-wheel drive car to make it rear-wheel drive. So the good definitely wins out over the bad. However, there are some bad things which I did cover in the video, and some of them can't be changed, like the design in the back. Yeah, you can't add vents in. I get it. It's a design issue. The base model missing out on some features compared to the Essence model. Well, I mean, you can spend more money, $6-7 grand or whatever it is, and get the extra safety features thrown in. But the big ones which affect all MG4s is that there is no over-the-air updates when there should be. Also, a lot of the settings which we would like saved, such as adjustments to the MG driver assist package, and particularly the one pedal driving, this is what people really want saved, and I believe that would be fixed by an over-the-air update. The other thing too, which definitely MG should have a look at, is the servicing cost involved. Now, I understand that in order to provide a warranty of 7 years, they may allocate a certain amount of servicing in order to guarantee the product reaches the quality of that. Fine, that's marketing, that's management, that's engineering, it's all of that all thrown in together. The servicing cost is a little bit over the top though, for the amount of work required and the fact it's $900 to change some coolant. I change coolants in my car, it's $50 worth of liquid and an hour of my time, if that. So maybe make things a bit more reasonable. MG's at the affordable end of the EV market. It doesn't really make sense to try and increase service costs to bump up profit margins of dealers. People will find a way otherwise, so just make it reasonable and everyone will be happy. Anyway, that's my whinge. look, hopefully not too much of a whinge. I really do like this car. Have a look at my other video for the phantom braking episode. My wife's still a little bit shaken up about that, so she now avoids that road where the phantom braking occurred. Otherwise, still beautiful car to look at. Really, really good to drive. Surprisingly good for the money. Overall, I'll give it, so far, 1 month, 8 out of 10. I hope to bring you more videos. Please like, comment, subscribe. You know how it all works. And I'll see you in the next video.